Good evening, everybody. It's Mario with Motorcycle Knuckle Busters, back at you again. So, a lot of cool things going on I want to tell you about. So, Motorcycle Knuckle Busters is going to be presenting the 5th annual Schools Out Chopper Show. There's $6,000 in cash prizes there. There's some other prizes. It's going to be a really good time, good turnout. Mondo's going to be there from Denver Choppers. We're going to have the bike that's just been built. That he just did the Captain America bike and everything like that. So that's going to be out there. We're going to have lots of folks there, lots of people taking pictures, everything else. Easy Rider is sponsoring that bike. They're going to be there. They're going to be picking out bikes again this year for their to make one of their issues. So you want to be an Easy Rider? All right, got a great bike, cut the mustard. I mean, that's the show to bring it to. Lots of different categories. Each category will get a cash prize, so you'll walk away at least $500 if you're a winner there. Another thing, you see right there, you're going to see Facebook page. Follow us there. More importantly, follow us on the YouTube page. Subscribe to the page. That helps us build our audience. You'll see all the past episodes, everything that's we've done with other folks. A lot of cool people we've had on here. This week, I've got somebody very, very cool. He's a friend of mine. Speaking of the Chopper Show, very first year that I helped host that, put that on. I saw a bike, asked somebody who's that bike belong to, and well, it turned out to be my next guest. But long story short, brought the bike to the show. Definitely a Road Warrior bike. Shannon Counts Customs, if you know him, good friend of mine. Shannon picked that as Shannon's choice that year. So he loved it, had a lot of respect for it, but I learned to have more respect for this gentleman. So without further ado, I want to introduce my good friend, Billy Lyons. Some of you know him as Spacey.
Sorry.
That's all right. Is it clean? Did you get the inside?
No.
Oh, that's the part that actually matters, dude. Let's go. Let's get that. You know, we don't need anything jamming up.
It's a movie prop. It's from Terminator 2 and 3.
All right.
I get all kinds of crazy things for tattoos, man. And some guy's like, "Hey, man, I love my tattoo. Do you want this?" I was like, "Is that real?" He's like, "No, it's not real." Then he told me it was from Terminator. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll take it." My kid runs around the town with it, you know. But
that's pretty slick. I love that. So, you know, Billy, we've known each other for a few years. You know, I consider you, you know, just a stand-up guy and everything else. And that's really the reason I wanted to have you on, because, you know, I just want people to know more about you, the person you are, the things you're involved in, which is a long laundry list. So we're going to kind of work our way through that list. But what I'd like to really start out with is I like people to hear about, you know, your upbringing and stuff, your heritage and things like that, because I think that's, you know, that's essential to the story of you.
I'm wearing like a pretty cool necklace here. It's a Native American style necklace, and I actually made it. And it's like buffalo teeth and some black beads on it. I like to wear a lot. I am mixed Native American heritage. I am also French descent too. Both my parents are mixed Native American, and my dad's French, and he's Iroquois, and my mother was Cherokee and Scots Irish. So, but I've mainly lived my life, you know, native style in my way, because I never really fit in growing up anywhere. And then I grew up in the big city, and my parents were Salvation Army officers, and they traveled a lot. So like a lot of preachers, you don't stay too much in the same place for very long. And so the first years of my life, up till I was about 7, I traveled from different places where my parents were stationed. So, you know, I'm in a different school every year or so. And I remember when I was in I became in kindergarten. My parents moved to Shreveport, Louisiana, and I remember going to school there. And I've always been a son. And when I was a kid, I was brown. I was super brown, red brown. And I remember going to school And it was the first time I'd been around African American people because I was in Florida during that time, and this was in the 70s. And I remember this one particular black girl, she always called me Mexican. And I was like, I'm not sure that I'm a Mexican, okay? I'm an Indian. Because I told my dad about it. He said, "Told me you're an Indian." So I did. And she says, "You ain't an Indian." I said, "How's that?" I said, "What's your mama's name?" I said, "Rosella." And she said, "See, who isn't Mexican?" And I was like, I was blown away by it because that was the first time I ever, felt like being categorized as something. But all through my life, I get that. What are you? You know what I'm saying? And I'd always go back to, well, I'm an Indian, man. I'm Indian. I'm French too, but they never caught on to that. That's fine with me. I'm proud of my heritage also, but when I was 17, I ran away from home. I had a guitar, I had a Bible, and I had a backpack, and I had a guitar. A bicycle, BMX bike. Because back then, that was my motorcycle. I rode freestyle from when I was 14 till I was 30, and serious about it. Riding street style was my thing. Riding ramps, stuff like that. But I went down there and see my fortune, and I lived on the streets there for from 17 till just about 18 years old, 19 years old, and then I got a job offer. I was going to UNO at the time, and I got a job offer to come to Ray, Mississippi, and I was going to do artwork for PD Electronics. So I get a ride up here. I have $60 in my pocket, and I had skateboard, I had my guitar, and I had some airbrush equipment. And I was thinking I was going to have this fabulous job. And I remember the guy that recruited me said that it was the second largest city in Mississippi. And I was like, yeah, it's like Baton Rouge or something. Baton Rouge is a big city, So I was like, yeah, this is going to be cool. I'm at a rock and roll place called PD Electronics. And I'm going to make it, man. I'm going to be a star. And I'm bound to meet somebody there. Well, I get up here in Meridian, and I went for the job interview. At the time, I had a red mohawk, and I wore Army surplus clothes. I had shorts cut off. I had leather Army boots, and I folded them down so because of the heat. And I remember I went to the job, and they showed me around. They took me to the ad department. I was going to do pay stubs right off the bat. And all the women there, and it's like, "Oh, I love your hair. Your hair's so pretty. You're a really nice kid." I was like, wow, this is kind of weird, but yeah, I can do this. It was countrywide, So I go back, and I was thinking, man, I'm gonna have me a $12,000 a year job, man. You know what I mean? In 1989, I'm 18. That sounded like $1 million or something. I don't remember really what the figure was. It was something like that. But I sat in that office, and it was about lunchtime when I got in there, and I waited, and it was like 4:30, and the place was shutting down, and I was sitting in the office, like, man, I think they forgot about me. So, and I was very shy back then. So I went and knocked on the glass window, and the lady's like, "What you want, honey?" I was like, "I think they forgot about me. I'm supposed to talk to someone. I'm supposed to be hired in to do, the job in the ad department." And she said, "Okay, hold on." And then this guy poked his head out the door and said, "Come on in here." And I walked in there. I remember his name. I'm not going to put it out there because I don't know if it's live or not, but it really don't matter. But he said, "We ain't hiring you." I was like, "Why?" I said, "Look at you. You scared the women in the place in there." I was like, "Those women are not scared of me, man." So I realized I was stuck. And I was like, "Man, can you give me my portfolio back?" And he's like, "We'll mail it to you." He didn't have it. I never got it back. And it was just a collection of airbrush stuff I did for him and some pay stubs and all. And then, so I was like, "Look, man, I'll end up wanting to get back home." And at that point, I'd be back on the streets again. And he said, "Well, them's the grits," pretty much. So I remember I was staying at the Salvation Army, which is right around the corner, because my family has a hookup on the Salvation Army, and they had like an office for assistants that worked there. And I was staying in it. It was a nice little spot. And I remember I was like, man, what am I going to do, man? I mean, why, God, am I in this mess again? What am I doing wrong? Or, you know, and I go outside, I'm sitting outside, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't cuss, I don't do anything. I'm not going outside for smoke. I'm just going to go out there and, you know, sit out there. I remember there was there's like a community center across the street from there, and I could hear this tap dance and shit going on. And it was like a bunch of people. And I went over to look at it, and they were clogging. I was like, I am in alien land. You know? I mean, I was like, what have I got to do? So I heard this band playing, and it was a heavy metal band, and they were not that far away. And it reminded me of New Orleans because a lot of times people would get bands would get storage rooms, and they have power in them, and they would use them in rehearsal studios. So I was like, that must be going on. So I walked down the street about half a block, and I saw this kid sitting on the porch. He looked just like me, man. He had long hair like mine. Well, he had long hair like mine now, but he had long black hair. I walked up to him and said, hey, man, are they jamming in there? And he said, yeah. I said, I looked at him and was like, what kind of Indian are you? And he said, what kind of Indian are you? And then I told him my story. He's like, well, why don't you come back with me, man? We live on a reservation 30 miles from here. I was like, I'm coming, man. I didn't go get no clothes. I jumped in the car with him, and I stayed there for like a month. And I remember getting a phone call, a message for me when I called back to check on things, you know, where my stuff was at. And he said, hey, man, this guy recruited you, you know. He called me and said, hey, we'll give you a job on the assembly line. And at that point, I was like, I feel like maybe God wants me to be here. It ain't like New Orleans, and there is nothing here. But that's where I really grabbed on to my Native American identity, because before I didn't really fit in anywhere. I didn't fit in with anyone, really. People liked me, and I liked them, obviously, but there was no, you know, real connection or nothing. The next thing I know, I'm on an Indian reservation, and that family, they're the Henrys. They took me in, and that guy's named Earl Henry, and he's we call it like our, it's like my twin, you know what I'm saying? It's like a doppelganger or something, is what other people call it, but
Right.
we're spiritual twins. We've been best friends ever since, and that was like in 1989. I have no idea what year it is now, but I know it's been a while. But basically, I grew up in a Christian home, and I was devout about it. I didn't have judgmental parents. I had parents that brought in bums and homeless kids. I ate next to people. Taught me a sense of loving, you know, love people, you know, give people a chance. And also taught me how to spot people that did not deserve a chance, but still give them something, you know. And
Right.
And then that's just basically who I am, you know, innately. I hope that answers some of that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So I want to pop up a picture real quick. So now tell me about this picture.
All right. There was this girl. All right. This is back where I already had my tattoo shop. And of course, that's the way I dressed when I was in the 90s in Sneaky Tree. Those leather pants, when I took them off after wearing them 2 weeks, they'd go walk and stand in the corner until I needed them again. I still have those pants. I could probably put an arm through one of them. But that girl right there, she would come around my tattoo shop and draw. And she would draw all the time. And she was on the tattoo. But I remember when she's came one time real sad, and I could tell she's sad, and I was like, what's wrong? And it took a minute to get out where she says, I have no date for the prom. And I was thinking, I ain't never been to a prom. You know, I never went to the prom. I didn't even have a girlfriend or anything. So I said, you know what? I will go with you to the prom. So I did. And it was fantastic. They made that girl's day, man. And, you know, my girlfriend at the time, she went with us too, chaperone, but it was an amazing experience, and I felt great about it. I can't believe you found that picture, man.
That's an awesome story. I mean, I think that really kind of tells us, you know, tells everybody, you know, the kind of person that you are, that I know you are. So let's pop up another one, because we came across some other ones. So tell me about this.
All right. All right, so this is the original. This is one of the original setups of Sneaky Tree, and this was back in 1992 or 93. And the guy with the striped shirt on, his name's David Zettler, and he's the drummer for Stone Senate. And the guy,
Okay.
the blonde hair guy, he is Reggie Thomas. He's a filmmaker out in LA. He actually filmed and co-wrote the movie John Nieto, American Spirit Walk, that I acted in, and I got to do the soundtrack. And the guy on the end is one of my closest brothers in the world. His name is Darren Cummins, and he's a superstar drum and bass DJ. He's got a bunch of stuff out right now, and he's about to go on tour, and he lives in Orlando, Florida. And his DJ monk here is SST. And and he's a serious musical scientist. All three of these guys were just terrific, man. And back then, we lived in the same van. We wore the same underwear. I mean, I'm wearing somebody's pants in that one, you know. And we loved it, man. Awesome. It's back when you can get your equipment, make a couple phone calls, and then you're playing in Panama City, and then you're playing in the next place. It was really killer time. We wrote a lot of music on the fly.
Okay.
We wrote it. There's a lot of improvising going on. Now, there was one other drummer. It was my older brother Bob, and he was the actual original drummer of Sneaky Tree. And then they've gone back and forth over the years. We've gone back and forth between Bob Henry, Robert Henry, which is my older brother, and David Zettler, which is drummer for Stone Senate.
That's very, very cool. So I want to bring up a couple of other pictures here. So what are you doing here?
I'm trying to remember that one. I think we tattooed his butt, man. All right, so I have trained a lot. Yeah, man, that was because you know I was going to do that. Next thing I know, he got this big sweaty ass on my face, man. And he had beard on his back too, man. I can't remember what tattooed on him, but that was at a memorial deal for one of the guys, one of my greatest students, man. And he had a place. His name was Brian Anderson, one of the greatest tattooers I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And Brian had long hair. He had opened up a tattoo shop in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and was doing great. And he brought all these young people in there, and every one of them were fantastic. He was pulling people from different parts of the country and mentoring them, and I was just amazed to watch it. I mean, technically, yeah, it's my competition, but I don't see it like that. I mean, we're all working together, you know.
Sure.
And one day, Brian went in to get a haircut. Say what?
I just said sure. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah. So one day he went to get his hair cut off, and he nicked his neck, and he had melanoma. It was no visible, nothing of it. Started feeling terrible, and he died a year later. It was really sad. Actually,
that's tragic.
It is, man. It really is. And they try to keep his legacy going, but look, if I was gone tomorrow, even this place that I have, it would be hard to keep it going unless you had a ton of money and people that were seriously, seriously dedicated to keeping your idea going. But
right.
I loved him a lot. You know, I was going to give him a Triumph motor and frame that I had, and he got sick, and there was no sense in at that point. And I actually drew one of the artwork. I did artwork for the Horse magazine after Richie Pan died, and for a year and a half I had to do it before the magazine folded. And I did one of them. I did one of him on it, and it's the first one I did. And it said the Horse Backstreet Choppers on it, and it just sums it up. It's a really cool picture, man. It shows him in the wind, getting down. You know, I like to think of him that way.
That's awesome. So I want to put up. Let's talk about tattoos. So tell people about. I mean, you've been tattooing for a long time now. Tell me about Jackie. You know, she's down in New Orleans, but tell folks about Jackie, because you told me about Jackie, but I want them to hear it in your words.
All right, Jackie Gresham is a very beautiful woman. She's 6'2", 6'1" maybe. She's getting a little shorter now. She's getting a girl will never tell her age, so I ain't gonna tell hers either. But she had the only tattoo shop in the French Quarter up till now, and they've changed the lines, and tattoo shops have gotten closer to it. But she got her grandfather calls on her, and then she came to New Orleans with a partner of hers, and his name was Ali Singh, and he was a Sikh, a real one. You know, have you seen Indiana Jones and the guy with the sword?
Yeah.
Was, you know, the Sikh sword. You know,
Yep.
he don't look like the other people from India. He's tall, he's golden, he's full of muscles and mound. That is exactly what Ali looked like. And Ali had one tattoo, and it's right on his hand, and it was that sword. And he had an English accent because he's from Britain. But anyway, him and Jackie, they started out up in Michigan, and they worked for General Motors. And you remember back 70s when certain Jimmy Carter may have screwed our economy completely, yeah, and gas went up and all that, and you know, and so the auto industry hit the floor. And Ali had learned a tattoo in England. He said, "Hey, let's do tattoos." And she's like, "Okay, well, let's do tattoos." So they went around to all the seaports and places around the United States, and then they ended up in New Orleans, and that was their home. So he did the line work. She did the color and the shading, and that's how she learned how to tattoo. Well, that was back in the 70s. Fast forward, man, she's a fantastic artist. Her design, her line work, her design is unmatched, except for by the people that learned from her and took it further. I have never seen anybody from her time period do that kind of work, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with her. I've been in love with her for years. And everything that I do as a tattoo artist or as a business person reflects what she taught me. When I get down, man, I get down. And you mess up, you're in trouble. You know? Right. But then I'll lift you back up and help you. And I'm talking about my artists. You know, lettering is a very, very, very important thing. I don't know if you necessarily see it on my arm, but nope, can't. Lettering is a real important thing. If you cannot do lettering, and I mean lettering, then you can't do drawings. If you can't control your lines and lettering and have a good design flow, how can you do that with artwork? You know, how can you do that with any work? You know, you can't get outside. You can't make perfect circles or whimsical circles because you're too rigid, you know. I remember I've been tattooing 3 years, and I've been doing it on my own. And back then, there was only two ways. You can do with that, or you can find some ham-fisted 200 or 300-pound scary bearded biker who'll beat the teeth out of you if you do something wrong. Or, you know, hopefully look up and find someone like her. And I was living up here in Meridian, and I remember in the tattoo magazines I would see art by Jackie. And it'd be this awesome stuff, man, colorful, real colorful. And this is like 1991 or 92. And some kept telling me, you need to go to this person. And I thought it was a man, because I was relating Jackie to French, Jackie Gresham, but Gresham's not a French name. But I just thought of that because I saw Jackie. So one day it's like, screw it, man. I look in the mirror, and I didn't feel like I was a tattoo artist. I feel like I was an artist who did tattoos, and that don't cut the mustard with me, man. Don't cut the mustard with anybody, especially after it's done. You know? Sure. It does now because you need to be artsy, you know, but you know, if you lack that foundation of the mechanics of it, you know, it don't matter how artsy you are, that stuff's gonna fall out. So I remember I went down to New Orleans, I took my tattoo equipment, I took my portfolio and two of my friends, and I remember going into a shop in French Quarter, and I walk in there, and there's this British guy there, and he's ranting and raving, and until he'd been drinking a little bit. He's scary as hell, man. And remember the picture of me in leather pants? That's what I looked like back then, but I wasn't wearing my leather pants then. So I go in there, and I was like, "Are you Jackie?" He's like, "Me? Jackie? Hell no. She's down there in the night ward tattooing." I can't say the word he was going to say. So I was like, okay, how do I get there? It's like, go down the street. He's so astute, man. You had to just take it out of the woods, you know. If you laid there too long, he'd probably eat you. That's
Right.
I've got a bunch of stories about him. But so anyway, I go down there and I go down Ninth Ward, and there's this big, beautiful, brightly painted place that said Art Accent Tattoos on it. And there was a line out the door, man. And this is in the Ninth Ward. I don't know if y'all know about New Orleans, but Ninth Ward used to be a really scary place. And it was a tough place. It was a street, man. It was a street shop. It was a real one, you know. And the other one was a street shop, but it had a lot of tourists going in. But
Right.
this was in a neighborhood. And she had this sale going on. And I did the sale after that. And it based my whole career, changed my whole career about art and design. And it was basically, you got 7-letter cursive name, and it cost $25. Hey, anybody can afford $25. And there were people just line out the door, and you can get a free design with it on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Otherwise, it's $60 and up on the other days. So you got line out the door. And back then, you could be tattooed, man. So you had mom, dad, grandma, everybody getting names all over them, you know. So I remember going in there, and I was standing there. I was like, I'm here to see Miss Jackie about a job. And then she said, who? And she turned around. I was like, oh, shit, I'm screwed it. So she looked at my artwork. She said, well, your artwork looks like shit, but I think I can do something with you. I said, please, ma'am, please just let me come here and hang out. I'll sweep the floors or anything. I was trying to think about what apprentices do. And she said, well, I got somebody who does that job, but you be back here Tuesday at 7:30 in the morning. I'll put you to work. I was like, 7:30 in the morning? I drove home, 3 hours home. I sweated it out for 2 days where I was brave enough to go back, and I was back there at 7 o'clock in the morning, man. And that was it after that. And she took me under her wing. My mom had just died, and I was mama's boy back then. You know, I was real mama's boy. And I was really struggling, man. My band was taking a break at that time, so I really needed some kind of purpose in my life and all that. And she put it there. She took me out on tour with her. You know, back then you had the big tours. You had Billy Tinney. He used to shoot for Easy Rider. He owned Tattoo Magazine, and they did the voodoo shows down in New Orleans. They did the old school tattoo show, which was a tremendous thing. I was about to spell out some names out there. Judy Parker, wonderful lady. There's so many more, man. I mean, I got to meet all the greatest tattooers you can imagine with her, and they all knew her, you know, and she knew them. I went to Detroit and met Bill the Head, which is one of the scariest people I've ever met. And he towered over me. He had this horrible tattoo on top of his head, and he was just, but he was so cool, man. It was so cool. Spiderweb, I met Spiderweb. Jeez, man, Spiderweb. Wow, look him up. That guy was a character, man. And,
yeah.
But over the years, man, she's been a constant part of my life. She's still been there for me. I see, like in 05, I opened up a TNT art gallery, tattoo art gallery, right after Hurricane Katrina. And it wasn't long after that, I became a tattoo master. And I was a good 10 years into my, 12 years into my thing, I became a tattoo master. And she said, you're ready. You're it. I've been training people anyway, but even now, you know, she'll be up here. She's actually, if you want to get tattooed by her now at her old shop, she's actually closing her shop, which is really sad for me. She'll be closing at the end of June. And it's been I'm close to 50 years that she's had her business open, something like that. But she's come and tattooed with us in at our shop in Sturgis. I was hoping to have her back at some point now that she's going to be free of having a full-time tattoo shop. I plan on bringing her back out there. Definitely check her out. She's on plenty of TV shows. Look her up, Jackie Gresham. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Facebook. She's a true pioneer. She is the first female black tattoo artist that we know of, at least in this incarnation of humans. But
Right.
She's a good one. She never believed in her gimmick. You know, it's not a gimmick. It's just who she is.
So tell me, so if somebody wants to get a tattoo by you, they can go to Meridian, correct? Tell them about your shop there.
Yeah. Now you can get me through. All right. So we have a Facebook page called Rock and Roll Tattoo, and then we have one in Sturgis. So that's my 2 tattoo shops that I focus on, and I do travel around. We just signed on with. We're going to be the tattoo shop for the Smokeout, the reboot. We're going to be doing a rock and roll live rock and roll tattoo show. We'll be doing it at the Smokeout this at the end of the year. I'm going to be talking to Buck and the TMR crew about doing one there next year with them. So we are going to take it down the road. But if you want to get tattooed by me, I always keep my personal information out there because I have nothing to hide. You can just contact me directly, or you can contact me through the Facebook page or my numbers or contacts that you put out there for Mario. And I work on anybody. And
so why don't you
pretty much.
so why don't you tell everybody where you're at in Sturgis? So if they come out to Sturgis. Because you are off the beaten path.
We are off the beaten path, but the ride out there is amazing.
I know it is. I've done it many times.
Jump off your bike. I know, man. It's a cool ride. People are like, wow, I don't know where I'm going. Well, it's not like you're riding out 2 hours to go see the president's made in stone somewhere. There ain't no beer there. You know, you come out, ride 7 minutes out my way in these beautiful rain plains area, and we're located at Shade Valley Ground. And we've been situated there for 4 years? Has it been 4 years? I mean, I think that was
it's
that
been
first
4
year, second year. Yeah, 4 years. I think we've been there 5 years. Me and you've been friends, buddies, for like 4 years. So something like that. And we have our own building. It's air conditioned. We have a bar right across the way.
Yep.
You don't have to pay to get. We got a cool restaurant and all that. But it's if you pass the Buffalo Chip and you stay on the actual highway, you curve to the left. It's not that far down there. It's a good 7 miles, and then you'll come upon it. You'll see all the lights to the left. They just built this huge stage out there.
Yeah, they did.
They're booking. You know. One of my favorite ones have. I mean, I'm not a big Queensryche fan, but them guys nailed it. Man, it was like listening to them from back then. I mean, it's a different singer, but they had who else they have there? I can't remember, man, because I'm spaced out. You know, doing this interview.
Yeah, I know they built some big. They had a decent. Now they had a decent sized stage, and they just built that monster one out there. So they've got big plans out there. So let's pop some other pictures up. So tell me about what you're doing here.
All right, now that's my younger brother Earl that I told you about earlier, my spiritual twin.
Okay.
That's me. We're going out to play stickball.
Okay.
Stickball. We call that game Kabucha Toli.
All right.
And Kabucha Toli means little brother war. And this is the oldest field sport in North America. And what if you see the stick in my hand, we use 2 of them. And Lacrosse was born from this. Lacrosse uses only 1 stick, and they use all kinds of. You look at my brother's look on his face, man. He's like, "I'm gonna kick this ass."
Right.
He does. He's an ass kicking. He's an ass kicking player. When he's playing, you go out there, it's dangerous. I mean, you got a golf ball coming at your face, 8 miles per hour, and when it hits, man, it hurts. I've seen dude eyeball pop out of his head. I've been hit right here, right there on my cheek. I was like, oh God, I don't want to. If my eyeball pops out of my head, I'm gonna be so embarrassed, you know. And there's blood. So, people get cuts and all that, but man, I'll tell you what, being American Indian, we have this kind of funk over us that we've been shamed. We've been, we're getting deleted from history or life. We're just pushed to the side, man. And it kind of sucks. And you got grin and bear it. Oh yeah, we have the stoic Indian look. And you got the Indians that are the Plains Indians, which we're real proud of them because they're so beautiful and the way they dress and their headdresses are beautiful. But a lot of us don't look like that. A lot of us have a different look. Our people shaved their heads, and we had a mohawk. And so there's a lot of different things about us that don't match up, but we're all, Native Americans. And I like to say Indian. And you go on record, I like to say I am an Indian. I don't have to say I'm indigenous. I don't have to make up a new name to sound cool. I am an American Indian. I like to be called that. Right. And I just want to go on the record for that because I'm going to do it every time I do an interview. I don't have to be called something different. But I tell you what, getting back to stickball, when I go back on that court, I really feel like my ancestors, man. I'm touching my ancestors. I feel like a warrior, man. I feel like we're battling. Oh, it's brutal, man. I'm a goalie, and my brother's a goalie. My son, Sabian's a goalie. My nephew's playing defense. And like I said, what we do is, so basically, my two sticks are longer. Mine are about 3.5 feet tall-ish. And I hold them straight up in front of the goal. And the goal is a pole that comes down the ground. And back in the day, it would probably be, about that big, about 6 inches or more in diameter. And it's 13 feet high. And you have to take that ball with those two sticks. And you got to throw that ball and hit that goal. Now, there's 13 guys on there, including myself, saying you ain't going to hit that goal. And we're elbowing and we're like, tackling and all that. And there's a lot of little dirty tricks, man, people do, and that you got a little broken rib. You take one of those sticks, man, and poke somebody in the rib with it, and you break the rib right off, They're made out of hickory, most of them are. Some of them made out of oak. But it's our game, and it's an amazing game. And you can actually watch this if you look up Mississippi Band of Choctaws, Fair Time, look up stickball. Just look up stickball, Native American stickball, and watch the videos. You'll see, man, we ain't playing. Football, yeah, they got muscles. But they got padding on. They got helmets on. It was like, oh, those guys are so tough. Hey, bring your butt out there and play with us. Let's see how you roll. You know what I'm saying? And right. What I like about it is we do have different tiers of it. So 18 and up is the men's league, and that's our professional league, if you want to call it that. Then we have a 35 and up league, which we're all experienced, a little bit slower, but we're just as brutal. And so I play both teams. I'm gonna play until I can't walk, man. But that's cool. But that's basically what's. So we play it. Us Choctaws, Cherokees, Seminoles, Creeks or Muskogee, and brothers to Chickasaws, Chickasaws. We all play this game, and it's a World Series game what we play. So. I know I've been a part of 2 world championships. We're going to bring 2. We'll bring 2 of them this year. We're going to win both of them. So it's going to be a brutal, awesome game. That was 2 men.
So where do you guys play then? Where's the world championships at?
It's Philadelphia, Mississippi, and it's during in old days it would have been a green corn ceremony, but it's during our fair time, and it's weekend of August, and it's in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And there's other games played in other tribes. They're all doing them too. Everybody has their own different fair times. Yep. But our game's the best. Our game is the true game. Our game is bloody. And you know what? We don't put up with bad sportsmanship. You'll get kicked right out. I got for Annie one time for cussing. I was pretty angry. They put me out for cussing. I changed my attitude so I can go back and play. They don't put up with that.
That's awesome. I'm glad you told us about that. I definitely want to look more into it and stuff like that. So let's pop up some more pictures here. So I want to talk about the artist. A lot of people, here's some helmets you've done, some awesome work. We picked a few. Our producer, Cody, who does an awesome job, he picked out a couple that he liked. And I said, yeah, let's run with that. So tell me about your artwork, where your artwork has appeared. I know it's been in magazines. It's been on helmets. As a matter of fact, I think Kurt got to you before I did, is going to reach out to you about doing one of the Kurt helmets we got coming up that we're doing thing with Mecum auctions and everything.
There's someone rattling around in there. Do you hear that?
What's that?
Do you hear the rattling?
Yeah, I do.
Is it just one? Huh?
I think it might be your end.
When you talk. Okay, good. As long as it's my end, that's all I care about. Okay. All right. Now, Simpson was the first helmet that I did for motorcycle companies, and man, I love their helmet. Expensive, but hey, it's worth it when you're grinding your face across the pavement at 75 miles per hour. But at least you look really cool if you send me your helmet and I paint it. I don't paint a lot of helmets. I usually paint them for a reason, and because they're real time consuming. Because I don't airbrush. I don't use airbrush. I mean, I can. I just choose not to. But I'm more of a painter. So the first two helmets, the Cochise one right there, and then the one that has the Chief with the red plumage and yellow and all. That's the Simpson helmet that I did, and I did that. That was years back, and I loved it, man. It was fun, and it has everything in there. Like it's obviously going to do stuff I like to do, Native American and mythology and stuff. And I like to do skulls, and I like to do all the scary stuff, that your mom don't want you to wear that T-shirt to church in. But
right.
That Simpson helmet, that thing, man, I was like, dude, send me more of them. Now the
Sure.
one with the Grim Reaper on that, I did that for a Lucky Loser's brother, Joey. I used to me and Crystal worked for Joey back in the days before we were with the horse. We were working for Joey. He owned Thunder Roads, Mississippi. Now he's up there living right next door to the Dragon up there in Tennessee. But I painted that one right there for today. That was a real fun one. And I used acrylic paints, and then I used lacquer over them. I lacquered the crap out of them.
Gotcha.
Later on, I started getting people to get them clear coated, But I love painting helmets, man. If you want a helmet, send it to me. It'll take a while to get it, but when you get it, it'll be Spacey-fied, that's for sure.
So tell me about some of your other art and illustrations. I know you did some work for, did some stuff for Michael Lichter's Motorcycles Art exhibit.
Now, you know what? I really like Michael. What I like about Michael, man, he's got a kind spirit, and you can feel it. I've never seen him not like that. And sometimes you can tell people putting on the front but later on, they got maybe anger issues or whatever or something. But I just don't feel that about him. And I always felt like he's kind of a mystery to me, because what drives a person to do what they do? Is it fame? Is it the love of doing it? Is it for money? And I don't see him. I just see him doing it because he's addicted to capturing things that are timeless. Because his camera, when he's taking pictures, man, he click. He's like, boop, that's it. And
right.
Married to a big time photographer, I notice these things because I've helped her. But so Michael called me up and said, "Hey man, do you want to be in one of my shows?" I was like, yes. I was like, "Yeah, man, I think I can do that." But I was like, Crystal. Anyway, so basically what I did, I took all the artwork that I did for the Horse magazine, and I got one up there. I got all my originals here. I did one of my favorite ones I did had Luke Kinsey in it, and a lot of people don't. Had Bandit and Luke Kinsey in it. Keith Bandit. This big Keith Bandit's one here to see. Don't tell him I said that. But Luke Kinsey, the one I have, and you can see it online, he's wearing like a polo shirt, and Bandit's sitting on, I'm looking at it right now, it's on the wall. And he's sitting on this bike, one Bandit's bike that he built, one of his famous choppers, man. And they're standing there, and Luke Kinsey looks like Grizzly Adams. And But Luke Kinsey is the reason why we have the Horse Magazine, Team B, Old School Hot Rods. I mean, he really was the guy that made all publications back then and all. So, but anyway, what I did is I took all these things that I did for the horse and I put them all together. They're all original artwork. I don't sell those originals. I keep them. I make prints only. And then I painted one. I painted a really large one. I stretched canvas. I did all the things artsy fartsy people do. And that's my most famous one. I got that hanging out in my gallery outside. I'm actually at my shop now.
Right.
And it's two Cheyenne kids. You remember that one? So it's a boy and a girl, and they're riding a shovel head, and they got Bear Butte Mountain behind it. Interesting fact, though. One year, I actually tattooed. I had my first year rock and roll tattoo. I had it at the Full Throttle, and they gave me a building out there, and I wasn't quite finished, happy with the painting yet. Need a little something here and there, so I called up. So really, it was not finished, is what I'm trying to tell you. It was almost finished. So I called Michael up and said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm working. Are you coming over here?" I was like, I just got in town, man. I need to do a little more of this painting. Can I have at least 24 hours? He's like, sure. Come on down when you're ready. So I finished it up. So I'm sweating it out. And I don't have a good picture of Bear Butte Mountain. So I was like, man, it is hot in here, man. They had no AC in this building yet. And I opened up the door, man, and there was Bear Butte Mountain right outside this garage, man. So I'm like painting Bear Butte Mountain, looking at Bear Butte Mountain. What is that, man? That's crazy, isn't it? And then I'm working furiously, and I feel somebody standing next to me. I was like, oh man, probably a damn ghost or something, man. I look over there, and it's that guy. What's the guy that plays in the rock band that does the chainsaw thing? Jesse James. Yeah, he was standing right there. I looked down. I was like, "What's up, dude?" He's like, "Nothing, man." We just stood there looking at Bear Butte together, and then he said, "If you need anything, brother, slip." I was like, "Okay." I was thinking, I need an air conditioner. But I went back to painting, and man, I really enjoyed that. That was really fun. I got to put out all my works for the horse, and that painting, and then I painted the helmet that I ride today, and it says Tuscaloosa, which means Tuscaloosa. That's how you say it in English, and that means Black Warrior. And then I have like artwork from Moundville and Moundville, Alabama. This artwork that's directly related to my ancestors. And that's my helmet, man. And it was a cool helmet. Michael sent everybody a helmet to paint. I was like, I'm keeping this, right? And right. And it was, I think, you seen it, the brown one? I got like gold leaf. I mean, I got copper leaf on it. I got silver leaf on it. It was really fun.
That's cool helmet.
I don't know, man. Michael Lichter calls you up and says, "Hey, you know what? Want to know if you want to be in my motorcycle show?" I'm like, "You want my motorcycle in there?" It's like, "Nah, man, I want your artwork." It's like, damn. I was like, Gold Indian Giver gets no love, But I don't know.
Michael never has to ask twice. That's the beauty of that. So let's roll into some other pictures. So we've kind of alluded to it. You've talked about the fact, you're a musician as well. Right. I've heard you play, but you know what? There's probably some people right now watching this probably never heard you play. So any chance we can get you to play a little something?
Yeah, I'll be glad to. That picture that you just showed was I used to promote a show called Burning Tiki Man. It was a Halloween show. That was back in the day. I was boxing back then, and I wasn't able to play music because I was raising my son. I didn't have a lot of help back then, so I had to raise my kid. And I had to put music on a shelf, man. But one day when that problem went away, I had all these songs are still in my head. I still all this unrecorded material and all that. And I said, you know what? I think I can live again. Then I wrote a song, "I Can Live Again." But I'd love to play a song for you. I'm actually working on a record right now. I'm talking to a fellow named Charles Harleman, and he has a place up in. I'm gonna go record in Muscle Shoals, and I'm really excited about it. Now, some of the songs that I'm working on are going on a soundtrack for a movie that I just did, and so I'm gonna finish some of that up, but then we'll start the Sneaky Tree record up, and plan on having it out by the end of the summer or the fall. But yeah, let's play a song.
Yeah, let's do that.
This is my buddy. His name's Charlie. I named him after a really famous friend of mine, Kid Tom Charlie.
Yeah, I think you tattooed Charlie and I the same day.
I did tattoo Charlie.
Yeah, you tattooed both of us on that same day. Remember that?
It was the same day. Well, I had a guitar pick. I guess I'm going to use my fingers. All right, this song right here is actually going to be on the soundtrack for the movie John Nieto, American Spirit Walk. Does that get sound? Yeah. Is that good? Does that get mixed here?
That'll work.
Well, sometimes when I'm feeling low, I bring it on myself. It's my own fault. But still I try to be all I can. I want to be the best that I am. Every time I think that I throw my life away, I get down on my knees and I begin to pray. Every time I think that I throw my life away, well, look at you and then it all goes away. It goes away. Sometimes words can break you down and hidden deep. Turn you around. I have a dream. We can be as one. Well, I have a feeling. We'll dance in the sun. In the sun. Every time I think that I throw my life away, I get down on my knees and I begin to pray. Every time I think and I throw my life away. Well, look at you when it all goes away. Goes away. Sometimes love means you'll be alone. It is like a poison dove. I have a feeling we can be as one. I have a feeling we'll dance in the sun. Every time I think that I throw my life away, I get down on my knees and I begin to pray. Every time I think that I throw my life away, well, look at you and then it all goes away. Every time I think that I throw my life away, well, look at you and then it all goes away. Every time I think that I throw my life away, I get down on my knees and I begin to pray. I walk away.
That's awesome, man.
That song's called New
Thank
Mexico.
you very much.
Yeah,
So,
that's New Mexico. That's going to be on the John Nieto. It's called American Spirit Walk, the record. It's a soundtrack inspired by the movie.
that's very cool.
Thanks, man.
Very cool. So
If you
Cody,
record this one, man, I mean, great demo. I'll send it to you to listen to. Full
yeah, please do. So let's pop up a couple more pictures here real quick. Talk about, this is Knuckle Buster. So what's going on here?
Okay, everybody knows me, knows my bike sometimes spits parts off or decides you don't want to do nothing. But so we're in Daytona, and we're going to go to the swap meet. Funny enough. Now, Crystal was on another bike with a buddy of mine, Molecular's brother, Matt Smith, out of Orlando. He's with Cafe Racer Guys. He does all that. He's amazing cafe builder. And
Right.
then my son, Sabian, who is we call him, Sabian's a big kid, and he's on the back of me. And we're getting on right there in front of the racetrack, and I was getting on it. And, there's like 4 or 5 lanes on each side. And I wasn't going nowhere. I was like, whoa! I was like, what is going on? I looked down, my chain's spinning. Tire ain't going nowhere. I was like, what in the planet we living on? So somehow I have enough inertia that we glide off 4 or 5 lanes through, everybody rolling by as fast as you can. And we get behind the Crystal restaurant. And we're like, what is going on here? We can't figure out what's wrong with the bike. So Crystal, that's Crystal. Blue right there sitting there because she's the most patient person I've ever met in my life. She's the most patient. Has put up with my crap, man, so much, man. And I took that picture. She's gonna kill me when she sees that, or maybe not. She laughs it off. But you know what? We're sitting on the road waiting for Dad to come get us, man. And what actually was the problem? That rim is a 3-piece rim. Now that motorcycle was a special machine. It is my friend. It's not a girl bike. And it was like, well, what's her name? I was like, it's not a she. His name's Indian Giver. And that dude, he's like, you riding a dude? I was like, huh? I was like, what? It's a horse, man, right? Yeah. I was like, the guy's like, you ride a dude? I was like, no, man, no. It's a motorcycle, okay? Anyway, my buddy Matt Smith, he's an amazing motorcycle builder. He's tremendous. He lives up in Knoxville, Tennessee. And Matt rode by, and he was looking at, and we realized that 3-piece wheel came apart, and it was spinning. So the bolts broke off, sheared off, man. I was like, man, I just got here. I got to ride, you know? So I called Willie, Tropical Tattoo.
Yeah.
Will's like, well, you can use the trailer trash choppers? Yeah, I think these guys down there in Daytona that hangs around Willie, man. And
yeah.
So they come. They's like, yeah, you can use our garage, man. I get over there, and they didn't have quite the equipment they have, and I was like, there's no way I'm not riding this bike this week, you know. So I end up going to this tire shop over on the other side of town, and Tito, it's a cool guy, man. Tito is a stand-up. Tito is a really cool guy, and he worked at the tire shop, and the next to there was this other guy there that did alignments and all that, and he had the right stuff, and he had torch and all that, and we fixed it. When I got home, I took that thing apart. I drilled new holes, just switched it around for new holes on it, and I've been riding ever since, man. That bike, that frame is built by Scott Webster, who used to have Leroy Thompson choppers. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but
no,
that guy is he is a metal genius, and he's not building bikes no more. I'm sad to see that. I think there's probably 15 to 17 of those frames actually got built. And back in the day when I was sitting in the tattoo chair all the time, I was like, man, I want one of those frames, man. He had this frame called a Dirty Hide. He used to have it in a horse in the ads there, and I was like, that is my thing. It's a drop seat. I'm 6'5", man, so I don't want to sit up way up in the air and drive down. I want to be down low, man. I'm a sleepy kind of low guy, And I compress real good, get compressed on my bike and all that. I was like, that's got to be for me. And I remember I called him up and I asked him about it. And I knew the prices out on the range, and I was a single dad most of the time. And I was like, man, I'll get the money somehow. And I just built my own bikes out of other things I had at the time. And then one day I called him up. It's like, look, dude, I really want one of those bikes. He said, I'll sell you a roller for $5,000. And it was basically the bike that he took around trade shows. It was just frame and the wheels and the forks. I was like, what? Right. Man, I got that money up, man. The dude sent it to me. I remember getting home and I was sitting on my porch, and there was a huge box there, a big square box. And I was like, what the hell is that for? I looked in there, it was that big beach ball tire on there. And I was like, yeah, that was like a 330. And by then, I think people were starting to make fun of that, the wide tire bike. I love it. Dude, I've ridden the piss out of that bike. I've had 3 motors on it. The first motor I got from Rich's Parts, and it had 89,000 miles on it when I got it. It had it on the thing. It said 89,000 miles. It's an FXR motor, 96 or something. Yeah, it was a 96. It was in a crate, and it smelled like it had 96,000 miles on it. I probably put 96,000 miles on that motor after that. That motor was it ain't no boat anchor, but it's heavy as one. And I rode that thing up 2 Sturgises before I met you, and then it blew a head gasket. That's all was wrong with it. It's still sitting back there. We're going to put it back together. And so I had 3 motors on it. After that, I put a Harley crate motor that I had left over from a West Coast chopper project thing that I had. And I did 1 Sturgis on that. And then I went to the smoke out, maybe 2 Sturgises I did. I was going to smoke out and got in Atlanta, and it blew a top off one of the pistons. And I barely made it into South Carolina. And I was like, we got home, pulled cylinders off. They're like paper thin. So in trash, man. It was just amazing. Is one thing Harley's awesome. You could beat it with the hammer, and the other one would run away from the hammer, you know?
Right.
But now that's an S on it. So I got 3 motors, 3 back tires that wore out, 4 front tires, and a rim. And I like to think, it's not that I went out to set out to prove anything. It's just what I like, man. I like the Swedish bike look, man. I like, the Viking chopper guys, man. They're so smart about how they build their bikes, man. And everything's all naked and all that, and it's all, they ride them, man. They'll ride from, they'll ship their bikes over here, ride it all across the United States, all the way back, ship the damn things back over there. These guys are amazing. But I love that look, the Swedish look, low bars, big back tire, long, tall, 21-incher and all that. And, it's just my thing, man. And then, people are like, oh, I can't believe you're riding that. Well, I was on a horse. E-Man said it was like the beach ball madness, because everybody's like, that thing's ridiculous. But, dude, it rides. If you know how to ride a bike, you got to ride that bike. Now, you buy a bike off showroom floor, you're not going to have the same kind of thing about it. And you have to adjust it for you, for whatever height or weight you are. But a bike like this, man, you got to ride that bike for ways. And I remember the first couple of years, I love the way Billy Lane, he has V bars going down, in the tank high, tank high. I like Frisco tanks, man, and, but I had no turner radius. So when I did turn, I had to windsurf, man, you know what I'm saying? But that picture right there, that shows, the resilience of steel and want to. And I'll sum it up with this. George Painter said, I took a $40,000 bike and turned it into a $10,000 bike. And I was like, yes. Because $10,000 bikes can road.
That's funny. Let's roll in some other pictures here real quick. So there's you riding. So what's that?
Actually, at that show, I got to meet you and Shannon, and I won the, I can't remember what I won. I won something that had something to do with best, street riding chopper thing, Road Warrior or something.
Yeah, it was a Road Warrior.
Yeah, it's Road Warrior. I'm about to hang that up in my room here. I'm still decorating. I got it out there in our front desk. The plaque that Shannon signed and all. Yeah. But so I was about to skedaddle, man, and get back to, the long grind of tattooing and Sturgis. And then this guy walked to me and said, hey, dude, you want to do a commercial? I was like, maybe. And then it was Mobile One and O'Reilly Auto Parts. And it was a lifestyle film. It's cool. It's, I'm not so much a commercial kind of guy. Filming guy, yeah. But they did a great job on it. It was really cool little setup, man. And they gave me all the footage for it. I got to use it for like videos for whatever I'm doing and all. But man, I loved it. It was awesome. That guy, this cool footage, man. But that was the day after me and you met. I think we met the day before, but it was a pretty magical time.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So let's pop another picture up. So tell us about this film.
Okay. This fellow right here is named John Nieto. And John Nieto is a Native American painter who actually created a style that is followed and copied time and time again. I played him in the middle there. You see me and another fellow standing there. I'm the guy in the black hat. I played him in the movie, and I played him in dream sequences. And the movie's called John Nieto, and American Spirit Walk. Now,
Okay. So why don't you hold that thought then real quick? Why don't we play a trailer from the movie real quick and then we'll come back to that.
When I paint, I'm in my subconscious. I just step into a different reality.
John Nieto is an American master.
We just woke the world up to a whole new way of looking at the Native Americans.
I wanted to learn as much as I could about it because I had the cultural heritage so that I could speak eloquently and with authority about my subject. These are real people.
This was a culture that hadn't always been portrayed in the best light.
There have been so many distortions and unfair portrayals of that part of our history.
It was about taking this piece of history and giving them a voice.
It transcends the environment that you put it in. It's really more about the energy from each painting.
The thing they see in his art that they don't see in other art, positive. With John's, it's all positive.
Whatever those messages were, people picked it up and they felt it.
I think the thing that shocked me the most is I thought we'd have more time.
So tell me, that's a really cool trailer and really very, very interesting. So tell people a little bit more. I mean, obviously we got some information there in the trailer, but tell them from your perspective, about John.
All right, I knew his artwork growing up because as an artist myself, I try to find myself what I should do. I know I wanted to be a musician. I know I wanted to be I had to be an artist because that's how I made any kind of money or make good grades. I trade out bulletin board stuff for grades in school, get good marks. So I knew the art was a thing for me. So I searched different things and paintings and all, and I remember seeing John Nieto's artwork, and that was amazing, but it wasn't something that I did or would do, but I knew who he was. And
Sure.
Whenever you see Southwestern pastel paintings and all these crazy colors and not in the lines and all that, that doesn't mean it's his work, but they copied his work. They were emulating, but this guy's alive. He's not dead. He wasn't a master a long time ago. People throw that master thing out really loosely. And we saw it a lot in the 90s in the motorcycle thing, master builder. Okay, how long you been building for? Irish master. You know what I'm saying? Mondo's a master. You know what I'm saying? But you just building something you on TV doesn't make you a master or anything. Then you got, the Tattoo Master Show and all that. Well, it's not real. There's people that really have that. It takes time, man. It takes real something in you that puts you apart through your dedication and the strength of your mind and being able to use these to take that out of there and put it out there, and it looks just as good or better. Did that. So when you say a master painter, we're talking on the World Heritage line here. And World Heritage, I mean people like Van Gogh, Picasso, people like that. He was that, and he did a lot of that that style of artwork. And if when you see the movie and you check on the links and you check it out, you see how amazing his work was. And he used color. He didn't use any black. But with all that different color in there, you had the presence of black. If you take all the colors and you put them all together, it makes black.
You got black.
If you take all the colors, you make, and that white is the absence of color.
Exactly.
So, out of the blue, one of my best friends I grew up with, played in Sneaky Trees, lead guitar for Sneaky Tree. His name's Reggie Thomas. He's based out of LA now, or Huntington Beach, somewhere around the area. He calls me up and said, "Hey man, would you consider playing somebody in a movie?" And I have acting experience. My brothers were in Last of the Mohicans. That has nothing to do with my acting experience, but movies in our family blood somehow. And I had a part in Gun in Betty Lou's Handbag, and years ago, which is a movie. Don't look it up. It's embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing. It's just I don't want to be remembered for that, you know. And I said, "Well, who am I playing?" And he said, "John Nieto." I was like, "Who's that?" He's like, "He's a painter." And I looked at his stuff. I was like, "Oh man, yes." But I don't really look like him. I'm 6'5", and John's shorter than that. And but I didn't let that stop me, man. I studied all his mannerisms. I studied the way he walked and what he painted, and I practiced it. I just became that. And then I said, yes, I would love to do that. And so we shot. They flew me over to New Mexico, and it was like the day before we started, day or two before we were. Well, they flew me to Dallas because his mother lives there, and their family house is in Dallas, and that's where his studio was. And we started filming there. Yeah, we started filming there. We did like the scenes where I'm painting, and you see my hand on there, and you don't see any tattoos. See, like used body makeup, and you know, while I had no tattoos, it was really cool. And I got to paint on a canvas in his studio with his paintbrushes and his paint.
That's really
all
cool.
Around, you know, and I was like blown away. I was so blown away. Can you imagine? You know, you step in the footsteps of one of the greatest painters of our time, period. There's some good painters, no doubt. We know some of them. We got, you know, that are great painters. But this dude did something different. He wasn't just a great illustrator. He completely made a whole genre, you know, by showcasing our people, our native people, and animals, and the whole thing, man. Man, it is just, when you look at stuff, you cannot, if you don't feel emotion by looking at it or grabbed by it, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm here and I'm sitting, pretending like I am him, because that's what acting is, pretending. And man, I could feel this guy on me, man. And for like a month, I wore all black because he wore black. They gave me one of his favorite belt buckles. It had 001 on it. It was just handmade silver with turquoise belt buckle. I wore like 50-year-old cowboy boots, climbed up a mountain like 5 or 6 times, a rocky one, and I was wearing a cowboy hat. I'm not a cowboy hat kind of guy. I got all this stuff, you know, I kept all of it. And I could feel this guy in me, man, guiding me, you know what I'm saying? And I started writing the songs for the movie, and that was my real scope. I really wanted to write the music for the movie. But no, man, it's like I believe in spirits, and I believe that the aura that you put out, and I believe I can feel these things, and a lot of people can. They just don't tap into it out of fear or out of not believing or something. But man, he followed me around for a good month, and for that, we went all over New Mexico filming it, and there's some powerful scenes. My man, I got goosebumps right now. You know, there were so many times where in it the scenes were very emotional, and I felt like he was there with me, painting through me, you know, as a person, you know. And I got to know his wife. I got to know his son, Anaya. He's one of my best friends on this planet now. And it changed my life, man. It really did. So many times we're in like a low place in our lives, and we're going through changes and stuff. It could be a divorce. It could be a loved one dying. You could be dying. Or it could be anything. And you just like got to hold it in, suck it in, man. And, you know, I was in a place right there in my life, my personal life, that I needed a win. I needed a real win, man. And I didn't realize it, but I was doing it. And you know, I feel like I was meant to do that, but I never got to meet John. He died 2 years before we filmed it. And, but, I felt him. And it's still at times, man, when I'm working on the music or something, I've still got to record 2 more songs for the soundtrack before the actual soundtrack record is done. But I got to tell you, man, it was amazing. I can't tell you the whole story, but it's really worth it. It's a movie doc, so it is a documentary, and there's dialogue and stuff in it. But through the music, we have it's Grammy Award-winning sound designer that I got to work with. I got to tell you, man, it was something. I feel like a real star, man. You know what I'm saying? Working with it, but it
Really looking forward to sharing that. So we'll make sure we get some as it's ready to be released. We'll make sure we get some more information out for everybody.
Awesome.
Share that. So
Hey.
now you're going to be, I think Rough Boys is coming out pretty soon. That now is a biker movie, right?
Yeah, you know what? And I did that shoot right before John Nieto shoot, but I didn't realize that. So look, I played a Cherokee warrior from like 1700s, and we shaved our heads. You know, so we have a shaved head, and then our hair here is like a mohawk, but it's tight, and it's pulled back. So when you're running through, you know, woodlands and all that, if you got long hair like the Plains people, all wild and feathers everywhere, you're gonna get stuck on something, and then you don't get an arrow stuck through your eyeball. You know, that's you know, you dress cool, seriously, and you look good, but you don't want to. You want to be sleek. You know what I'm saying? You don't want shit to grab you, man. You know. So being Woodlands Indians, we dress vastly different. So I shaved my head. I was gonna be authentic on this one, man. You know, and I was painted red. I paint myself red. That's my spirit colors. And I have a white stripe that goes across my face here, and then I'm red here down. And so we shot that thing, and then the next month I got the role for John Nieto, and he don't have shaved head. So we had to do some photo trickery there, you know. So I had hair on the sides of my head. I had long hair. You know, I had hair past my chest and all that. But you know what? I got to meet Charlie, Good Time Charlie, the year that I met you. And I actually met him at your show during that. And I was walking around. I heard somebody speaking in a New Orleans accent. I was like, that dude's from my hometown. I could tell it. I walk up to the guy, he's like, and immediately he's like, oh, how you doing? You know, and I was like, I'm doing good. How you doing? You know, and we started talking. He's like, we should live in the same neighborhood in New Orleans at one time, you know. And he's like, dude, we interviewed me for Chopper Town. There's good people over there, by the way. So he interviewed me for that, and he said, hey, dude, I want a tattoo. I'm coming to get tattooed by it. And I was like, Mario's coming too. And both, remember, all y'all showed up and we had a good old time.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we did.
Like, then I played Good Day to Die for him. It's one of my best songs, man. It's a life song for me. So I played that for him right before we played. I had a little travel guitar there at my tattoo station. And I could see in his eye, man, he loved it. And he said, you're going to come play with me the next 2 gigs I have, you know, here in Sturgis. And I was like, what? And I had my SG, which is my main guitar. And I dress native style like I do. I always dress native when I'm in Sturgis. I wear my colors. I wear my eagle feathers. And I showed up, man, and we played, man. It was such a great experience, man. I grew up in church, and I played guitar. My dad played piano. My uncle played organ. There were some horns. Lady played guitar next to me. Man, we jam out, man. You know, so that morning when the sun is old. You know, good old time.
Right.
Gospel music, rock and roll. And I got to play with him, man. His band kicked ass, man. I got a piano player over here, reminding my dad, tickling the old ivories, and we played probably 2 hours, man. It was amazing, man. And he said, "You coming back tomorrow, right?" I was like, "Damn right I am." I was a little late the next day getting there, and jumped on stage and played again. And I knew, man, me and he was gonna be friends for life. And a lot of people don't know, but Charlie's actually more famous than you know.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever heard the story about? You ever heard a story about Allman Brothers? Greg Allman won a whole bunch of dope brought to him.
No, I didn't know.
So
I didn't hear this story from him.
this is a real story. So he sent that roadie out to go get a bunch of coke and heroin or whatever that dude put up in his body. And so this roadie went out, got a trunk full of shit, said on the way back, got pulled over, and they opened it up. There's the drugs. They said, "Where'd you get these from?" He's like, "They're mine." And he went to prison for it. He went to prison for it. He didn't say, "Hey, they're for Greg Allman." You know, he said, "They're mine." And he went to prison for it and did his time. And I mean, Greg Allman took care of him, however he did that. And I mean, it didn't ruin friends because, you know, he didn't snitch on him, you know. And
Right.
you know, that shit a lot of weight. But the love for music that he had, and when he performed, man, if you couldn't help to be infected by it. And man, I got to play with him, man. We got to play some New Orleans style, you know, second line music. And man, that really made my day. I put my phone down and put it on FaceTime because my wife and my baby at the time, he was like 1 or a little one, and I had it right there by a stand, and Charlie went down there where he's jamming, and he like waved at him and all that. I mean, afterwards we went and ate chicken with them, and you know what? I mean, I really loved him, man. And at that end of that second time, I said, "Dude, will you write your name on my guitar so I can remember this time we had together?" And he said, "Sure." And he wrote it on the back of my guitar, "My beloved SG," and you see right there,
Yep.
Good Time Charlie on it. I carry him with me every time I play his guitar now. This guitar's name's Charlie. And it's a 1991 reissue. It looks like
I mean,
it was made back in 50.
And people don't realize, you know, but a lot of people don't realize how he had, you know, he went all over the world. I mean, he played for Putin one time. I think he was telling you and I the story when he was over there performing for Putin. I mean, King of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he actually knew Putin and actually played in front of him and knew him on a first name basis. I know. Yep. I seen the proof of it. And
yeah.
I'm not politics. I don't give a crap about it, except for the gas prices are ridiculously high, and we have a stupid government, and we need to get rid of them. Get them out of there. And that's all I'm gonna say. But Charlie, man, he cared about that, but he cared about playing music, man. And he went to Thailand. He go back to Thailand and jammed over there. He took the blues everywhere, and he was a bluesman. All the blues people he got, watch his first movie. Watch his first movie and see, man, I got chilled bumps talking about some of the people that's on there, the guests that he has on there, you know. But he said, "You know what? You are going to see me again." I said, "How's that? You going to take me on tour with you?" He's like, "I don't know about that, but I want you to come play part in the movie, man. We'll write you into this movie." I was like, "All right." Sure enough, I get home. A lot of people tell me things, and I take them for face value and all that, and I don't dispel it. But a lot of times, you know, people tell you things, and especially me, and it may not pan out probably. But that dude was relentless, and next thing I know, you know, we did this movie together. And I remember when I got the phone call that he got killed, man, and it just blew out of me, man. You know, life just kind of went out of me because this guy's taking it in life with a grin and a guitar. He's taking it and he's put it into his music, and he's made so many people dance and happy. And he did the Chopper Town TV show and all that, radio show, and I don't know, man. I won't get all emotional here. I don't keep that guy with me, man. You know, I really am. I love you, Charlie. I'm gonna keep you alive with my guitar.
Well, you'll keep his spirit alive. I think a lot of us will. So, Lily, at the end,
I'm gonna play.
This has been a great time. But at the end of every show, I ask 3 questions. So it's our 3 W's basically. So who, what, and where. So you ready for your questions? If you could ride with anybody, you ride with anybody. Who would you ride with? Who would you like to ride with, dead or alive?
Bill Dodge.
Bill Dodge.
Bill Dodge.
I think you could still do that. So
Well, maybe
I
not.
came close to riding with Bill Dodge. But he was on his golf cart and I was on the bike there in Tennessee, so it wasn't quite the same thing.
Me and Bill, we have rode together, and of course, he's probably one of my best friends in the world. He is one of my best friends in the world. He's a brother to me. I do all of his artwork. I do all artwork. I got a plaque here, BC Moto.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know you did that.
I do his art. Yeah, I did. I do. Every year, Crystal and I, we do everything for the artwork and all that for the BC Moto at the TMMR. But
yep.
But you know what? He's the one, man. Me and him have a joke, and it's true though. You know, Lone Ranger and Tonto. He's Kimosabi. You know what I'm saying? To me, and I'm Tonto. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the way we look.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I love that. So now, if you could have own any bike that you could have, what bike would you like to have?
Indian Giver. That's my bike. I can't imagine any other bike. I've ridden bikes, but like that guy says, I have many rifles, but this is mine. And
right.
I do that bike, man. I can't get enough of it. I'll break it, I'll fix it, I'll ride it again. And I'm ready to ride it right now. I'm about to part and rebuild it and make it pretty.
Nice. And then last question: if you could ride anywhere in the world, where would you like to go ride?
I want to ride to Machu Picchu. I want to ride Indian Giver to Machu Picchu, and I want to go there with my wife and pray. I want to go there.
That's a place I haven't been. I want to go to as well. Definitely.
I've been.
Yeah, to go to Machu Picchu.
I get a couple more TV shows under my belt. I wanted to do a show and call it The Ride to Machu Picchu, but I really would love to do that. And even if I can't ride Indian Giver, and it's Donna and I put knobbies on it, I definitely take my buddy Danger Dan with me. He's a really good friend of mine, and I would definitely. You can go with us too, man. But
all right.
We're gonna ride. We'll probably go to. I'm thinking we'll probably instead of riding the Transatlantic Trail because that takes 6 months and I'll get bored. I don't know, it take too long. I already had one person, a friend of mine, that was wanting to do a documentary and ride the whole transatlantic thing. I was like, man, I thought about it. I was like, I'll miss half a year, man. And I think people probably get tired of watching you ride the transatlantic trail, you know. But
right.
But I think that I'll probably go to South America or Central America, and then ride from there to Machu Picchu, film it, do some spiritual stuff, interview some people that know about true way of life,
mm-hmm.
And then share it with people because I want to share everything I can with people, man.
I know when I went to the ruins of Copan, and that was just. There's places like that just touch you so deeply. You can just feel the spirit, you feel the energy. And I've always wanted to go to Machu Picchu because I imagine it's just got to be amazing.
Well, those people are kin to our people up here. And actually, I am working on a TV show actively now. I'm writing it. It's called Finding Nanawaya. And our people here in the United States, we built mounds. There were pyramid-style mounds. They built them, and they were just like Mexico, the same kind of stuff we have here. But we didn't build things with rocks. We built out incredible amounts of clay. Tuscaloosa, there's a big mound city over there. And Nana Wyatt is actually one that's been demolished somewhat here in Mississippi that's around my Choctaw people. And what basically we're going to connect this culture with that culture, basically. And I'm working on it now. I'm supposed to go out to LA next month and iron out the details with it. So y'all wish me luck. You know, it's not nothing to do with motorcycles, but it is going to be pretty interesting. And it will tie science in with mythology, you know, which is going to be really cool because it's mind when you hear about some of the stuff that we believed in back then.
Well, this show's about people that love motorcycles, but it's about how diversified our community is. And I mean, Billy, you're about as diversified as they come. I mean, we haven't even touched on the writing you've done. You've done freelance writing, photography. You've done all kinds of things that we haven't even touched on yet.
My wife's been the photographer. When we've been a team, I wrote a column called Spacey Knows How for the horse for 10 years. And my wife, she shot photos for them. She's got several covers. I have to hand it to. Yes, I did the work and I've worked my way to that, but I really have to give credit to Englishman, David Gregory, and nurse Nancy, and Hammer, Fab Kevin, George Painter, Richie Pan. I tattoo with this artwork of Richie Pan every day to remember him by, because he's not here anymore. Charlie Nobad, one of my favorite people on the planet. There's no telling where this guy is. He's the most amazing chopper riding fool I've ever met in my life. All these people, man, they really helped me. And Crystal, he helped me in a lot of ways. They were there. They were my co-workers, man. I miss it. I miss the horse. We had a good run. And I loved it, man. It was such a fantastic, and it brought me to you guys. The Tattoos and Turnpikes TV show. Y'all can see that on YouTube also. We did a whole season with that. The horse brought me to that, and brought me to you as a friend. Danger Dan, Bill Dodge. XP is actually the one that I replaced at the horse, and that guy knows that he is one of my heroes. Sean XS Speed Sweeney, y'all look him up. He builds the hell out of a bike. But I really do owe a lot to the horse magazine. If it wasn't for the horse, I wouldn't have known really anybody, and I probably would have never traveled any of those roads. It brought me to where I'm at now, and I'm very thankful for it. I hated how it ended. We all did, man. I know there's a lot of controversy about it, but man, let's just forget about all that. We're all friends. We all love motorcycles. There's nothing we can do to change that now. And everybody involved are innocent people. It just happened that way. I know the Smokeout's coming up. I'm going. My band, Sneaky Tree, we're playing. I know our company, Rock and Roll Tattoo, we're going to be there. And let's bury the hatchet and let's ride motorcycles, drink some beers.
I agree with that.
Yeah, man. Let's live life, man. Let's move on. Let's do something spectacular.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, Billy, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I appreciate everybody that watched the show tonight. Check out Billy's works. I mean, it's all over the place. Check out his website. Check out Rock Roll Tattoo. Check out Facebook. Want to get tattooed? Get out there at Sturgis. Go to his shop in Meridian, Mississippi. And you're hard to keep up with, Billy, because you got a lot going on, buddy.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, so you can see what I'm doing. I post everything, Hey, man, I really appreciate this. I love you, man. You're a good friend of mine. I really had a good time.
Well, you're a brother, man. So love you. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Good night.